Hello. No December dailies today. I've come to show you how I've been making some really simple Christmas decorations. They are plain wood on the other side. I will show you what I have used to make them. So here are a few. I'm still waiting for those to dry. Now this all started because I went to a craft fair and I did purchase some of these style Christmas decorations, and I always like to support people when I go to craft fairs, and a lot of the things there were really expensive, but these little wooden Christmas decorations were, I think I paid £2 for some and £2.50 for others, a couple of others, and honestly we all do it, don't we? We go, I can do that. So although I bought some, I am going to make some. Now, I couldn't find small packs of these where I am. They're natural wood slicers, they're pre-drilled, and these were £16 for 30. So it does work out very economical if you're thinking about how much you can buy them for if you buy them ready-made. So they come like this, and these are, I think, the 6 to 7 centimeters, so they're all between 6 and 7 centimeters. Okay, you can get different sizes. So for the $15.99 pack, I got 30 of this size, but you can get smaller ones, which would be great. Now I had a little bit of an issue because I put all of my Christmas napkins somewhere safe. So safe. I've spent 2 days looking for them and I have no idea where they are. I have a whole heap of Christmas napkins, but they're not with my main napkins and I just don't know where they are. I found 2 napkins. I've got two napkins that were in my main stash that I'm going to use. So give it a good rub. Make sure you haven't got any bits on it, and I'm going to use my white gesso. You could use a clear gesso, but I found I've done some without a back, and the wood doesn't look quite as good as the white. So what I do is start around the edges and just work up until that bark, because I like the bark showing. So slowly paint around the edges. Like this. I did decant some of my gesso to do the others, but I didn't want to do that and end up with lots that I didn't use. So I'm using it straight out of my tub. And I go round with the grain, and you can see you still get little bits, which is fine as long as you remove them when you can. Hope you can't hear me breathing too much. Once you've got the outside done, then it's a lot easier to do the inside. And again, I just go round with the grain. And I don't want to put too thick a coat on because I do want to see the grain underneath. But I just like to have that white background, especially for these Christmassy ones. I'll show you a couple I've done that are not Christmassy. So this is a great project for decorations for all year round. So we've got that. Now we need to put those aside to dry, and they don't take very long at all. So you'll end up with something like that. Nice and dry. So the 2 napkins that I have, we have this one with the the robins. So I have tried desperately to get my water brush to work, but I can't. It's just the water's not coming out. I have no idea what's going on with that. So I've got a little brush in some water, and I'm just going to go very quickly, and as soon as I have, I'm going to pull that apart. I am not a fan of this technique because I find the water keeps spreading, and I do end up quite often with ripped napkins. I don't know if it's because I'm too heavy-handed or why, but I'm not very good at this technique. Once I've got my piece of napkin out, I'm going to remove as much of that wet as I can to stop it moving further into my little piece. So that's one. I'm going to put that aside. The other napkin that I have, it's not really Christmassy, but it's the closest thing I have, is this one. I've already done the fox. What shall I do? I think I'm gonna actually quite like the yeah, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do the birds. So I'm gonna do the same again, just quickly drag my brush over, and I'm sure every time I do something like this I get lots of people telling me where I've gone wrong, and I do try and get it better, but I'm just never able to. Just pants at it. Pull that off. Let's get rid of that one and remove these wet bits. Now I know that's probably going to be a bit too much, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. Just pull those off. That's probably a little bit big, so I'm just going to tear a little bit of that off. Now this napkin doesn't work quite as well because it's not white. It does work, but not as well as the napkins that are white. Okay, so they both fit on there quite nicely. Now I'm using collage medium. You this is the Distress Collage medium from Tim Holtz, but you could use any glue. I expect you could use Mod Podge. I'm not a fan of it, so I don't actually own any. But you could use any other collage medium. That should work fine, or wet glue. Now I'm gonna spread my glue on. I mean, this is so simple and effective. It's, you know, really, really nice. And the set that I've made already are going to be a little gift for my mother, because she's a big fan of Christmas decoration. Oh, well, aren't we all? We all like a bit of a Christmas decoration, don't we? So spread a thin layer of that on, making sure I haven't got any bits. Pop the napkin in place and very gently push out from the picture from the inside. Once that's down, can you see where I've got a little bit here? Once that's down, I'm just going to hold that napkin in place and just pull that little stray bit off. Back in with the glue and slowly and carefully push it down. And I'm putting no pressure at all really on this. But you do want to make sure it's got a nice coat, simple decoupage. There we go. And there we go, that's done. Right, put that aside. Bring in the next one, make sure I've got nothing on it. Give this a good coat, not too thick, but make sure it's all covered. Piece of napkin. And then we can go back over with the medium. And you can see the colour difference on this one, where the napkin isn't white at the background, but you know, that I think that's fine. Right, so that's that one done. And they already look pretty effective as they are. This is one I did without, it's not a Christmassy napkin, but I had lots of those. The only thing I would say is you do need something with a fairly small image on. And this one worked out fine. I quite like that. Now, this one is the same image as this one. This one is already dry. So what I'm going to do, put those aside so they don't get anything on them, is show you what I did to make the other one. So after watching Victoria Minxie and her December Daily, I had to go and buy some stickles. I had to. And I must admit, I'm struggling with it because I'm not very patient when it comes to letting these dry. But what I did to make this very, very simple is just, hopefully I'm in frame, is just give it a little squeeze until it starts coming out slowly. You can see when it comes down that nozzle very slowly. Here we go, and I just literally went round the edge of that bark with the stickles and then come back the other way. I'm surprised my hand is so actually doing that while I'm filming, but can you see? Just gone all the way round with those stickles. Now again, this is a glue product, so it's probably not the best thing to do, but what I did do just to set it very briefly is just give it a little blast with my heat tool. So that has by no means dried that at all. It's just given it a little kickstart, and that does need to go aside for a few hours to kind of dry. So this one is one I added stickles to a few hours ago. It's still not perfectly dry, but it's almost dry. Now with the pack that I purchased, you got some jute twine. So what I've found the easiest thing to do is cut a length of this. I'm using a really old scory pokey tool just to push that wood out of the way, because some of them are neater than others. You also want to make sure you poke a hole if your napkin goes over it. This one actually, can you see, I've left my paint and glue a little bit thick, so I'm just gonna open that up before it gets past the point of no return. Right, so get in there, wind that hole. Once you've got an end, grab your water brush and just wet the end of that jute. Give it a twist, and as you're poking it through the hole, twist with the jute. So if you just twist and gently push at the same time, it will eventually come out the other side. So let me just clear that, tie off and there we have a very simple, rustic and pretty Christmas decoration using a piece of wooden slice and a napkin. So pretty simple. I know this has been done lots before, but I wanted to do some. What you could do is, while the medium is wet, you could add embossing powder to emboss that later on. So anyway, that was it. Really quick, really quick. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.